Hi, Stampers. Just putting my lotion on. I hope you are all doing well. I just sent a message to my husband and son, who are both at work, I'm sure, letting them know that I'm not comfortable with doing holiday get-togethers this year, which really upsets me. So my eyes look a little weird because that was upsetting to do, but anyway, hopefully better times next year for the holidays. Okay, I think my lotion is good and I'm ready, so let's get started here. Okay, there, I can see it on my iPad. And I think we're good to go, hopefully. All right, so I want to give a shout out to Leanne Greff. I think that is how you pronounce her name. I found the inspiration for this card from her on Pinterest. And I just think it's a super fun card to make. In fact, I spent the whole day yesterday making these cards. So thanks for joining me. If you are watching live on Facebook, welcome. If you are watching the replay, it will be on both Facebook and YouTube. If you're wanting to purchase any of the supplies that you see me use, you can find them here on my shopping page. Also, be sure to check out my blog, which is JannaStamps.blogspot.com. And if you go there, you will find my post of the month. So I am going in at the beginning of each month and doing my post for that month. And you will also find the current host code there, and it will tell you how you could get a little gift from me the following month if you shop with me. Okay, so that is that. And on YouTube, my name is the same also. It's JannaStamps there as well. All right, so let's get started. Today I am working with the Very Vanilla cardstock, which is a nice pretty creamy color. And I think what we'll do first is stamp. That's always fun, right? So let me bring in my Stamparatus. And I don't need the foam mat. I've already got the little stamp that I'm going to use, which is from the Christmas Gleaming stamp set. And there's coordinating punches for this set. There's one that punches this one out, which is what we're going to use today. And then there's a punch that punches out those two ornaments. And so they come together in a pack, the punches do. And then the stamp set is separate. And I've got the stamp mounted right there, and I'm going to bring in my cardstock, and let me just get the magnets on here. In this technique that I'm doing right now, you want to make sure that your cardstock is very secure, because we're going to be stamping it 2 different times, and you want to make sure that it's right. Let me move my glue over a bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this. It doesn't really matter what color. I just need a light color so that I can see the design. So I'm just going to stamp it with Smoky Slate. And I think I've got it inked up. Let me see. Good enough there. I think that's okay. I just need the outlines basically so I know where to color. And I've got these markers, which are the Light and Dark Pool Party, Light Night of Navy, and Light Pretty Peacock. So I'm just going to come in first with the Light Pool Party, and I'm going to use the brush tip, and I'm just going to color in the whole thing here. I don't want to go outside of the line, so I'm going to try to be really careful. And it's a little awkward since I'm leaving it on the Stamparatus to color it. Okay, so filled in with that color. Now I'm going to use the Light Pretty Peacock. And I think for this, I'm going to use the little bullet tip, and I'm just going to come in to these areas here. And right here. Maybe I will use the brush tip. There's a finer point on it. Okay. And then the Night of Navy, and this is the light one. And I know it doesn't look like much now, but in a minute it's going to be pretty. And I think I'll do the top up here. And maybe I will do this little line right here with the peacock. Okay, and then I'm going to come back again, or wait a minute, I'm going to use the Dark Pool Party. And I'm just going to come in over here and do some shading. And then I'm going to bring back the Light Pool Party and just blend this. Okay. Now then, I'm just going to give that a second here to dry and make sure that my stamp is cleaned off here. Boy, did we ever have a storm last night. Oh my gosh. I did not get much sleep. It was really raining bad and blowing stuff that was hitting our roof, and I was glad when the wind finally quit. Okay, I'm inking up the stamp this time, excuse me, with Versamark. And I'm just going to stamp right back over the top of that. And I'm going to bring in my little embossing tray here. And some gold embossing powder. And I felt myself stick my thumb right on that when I picked it up. So let me get my little brush here to wipe away the extra pieces. Okay, looks like there's powder everywhere where it's supposed to be. And pardon the noise, but I'm going to turn on my heat tool real quick. Okay, so there it is, all shiny embossed. Let's just get this back in here. So I hope you'll stay till the end, because I will show you the 3 cards that I made yesterday using this card style. Plus I've got a couple of sneak peeks from the upcoming mini catalog to show you. So I'm just going to punch this out. There we go. So there's our little ornament. And then I want to bring in a foam. I just use an old mouse pad, actually. My old I Love Lucy Vitamita Vegemin. And my Take Your Pick tool, and I've got this sharp pointy end on here. I'm just going to poke a hole in there because I'm going to want to loop. Haven't really decided yet what I'm going to loop through there. We'll see what works. I don't want to tear it, so I'm trying to be careful here. I just want to give it enough room to be able to put something through there. There we go. Okay, so let's bring all the parts and pieces back in here. And let me tell you what designer paper I'm using. I am using the Brightly Gleaming Specialty Designer Papers. You'll find it in the Holiday Mini. And it's one they brought back from last year. And I have here 3 dies from the layering circles. So I've got 2 that have the scalloped edges, and these 3 papers are all from that collection. And the one in the middle, I'm using a straight edge, and then this one's scalloped. And I'm going to measure these dies for you real quick, just so you'll know the sizes that I'm using. But you can use different sizes. It'll just make the outcome look a little different. So this one, edge to edge, is just about 3 1/8. The middle circle is about 2 3/8, just under 2 1/2, almost 2 1/2. And then the smallest one is 2 inches. And then the top layering piece of paper that I'm using is 4 3/4 long and 3 inches wide. And then I have another layer 1/4 of an inch bigger under that. Okay, so I'm just using these 3 pieces that I picked from that paper collection. I love these papers with the metallic on them. They are so pretty. And I'll just run these through my machine, and I put that one on upside down. I can run them all through at the same time, so it's only going to take one run through on the machine. Okay. So if you're wondering what tape I use, it's just Post-it note tape. And I reuse my little pieces over and over and over until there's pretty much no sticky left. Let me get my little waste bucket here. Okay, now then we're going to cut these circles in half, and you can do it however the easiest way is for you. And I hope I'm getting this in so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to line mine up because my cutting my cutter has measurements on both sides here, so I'm just going to pull it down to the bottom, and I can see the equal measurements on each side of the cutting trough there, if that makes sense. But what I need to do is get my cutting blade down here at the bottom. Okay, so there are those 2 halves. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. here. And let's see. Maybe just a little bit over. All right, that looks good. Yep, okay. So that is that. And then you have some options here. This is going to be the piece that I'm going to put my little swirl on that we're going to make. But before we do that, let's go ahead and glue the circles together. So I am going to glue my circles, I think this time, on this side. And you'll see as this comes together that you have, however you glue your circles together is going to affect the outcome a little bit. Not in a great deal, but. So what you're going to do, I find it easier using liquid glue for this, just because you've got that little wiggle room to move it around if you don't get it just right. And you're going to just layer these on top of each other, matching up whichever side you choose. So you want the bottom to be even, and you're going to match them up over here. There we go. Pretty easy. And then you're going to do the same thing with the other half. And you're going to match these up on the same side that you did your first group. Hi, Kathy. Okay. So now, like I said, I will measure this again for you. It's 3 inches, 3.5 inches wide, and 4 1/4 long. So the consideration that you need to make is just to make sure that your circles are going to fit on your paper. And what you're going to do, we're making a swirly. You want to match up the middle. See how the middle colors there flow together? So you need to just get it together so they're kind of connected. Move it around on your paper so that you have even space on the sides and the top and bottom. So that looks pretty good. Now the other thing you can do, because we're going to be putting a strip across the middle, excuse me, is that you can spread these apart just a little bit. Just keep in mind whatever space that you put between the two, you need to, your strip that goes across the middle, it needs to cover up that gap. I just put mine right together. Now, what I was saying about how you can put the circles, glue them on either side, right? Matching them up either side. If you want this open space to be on this side, then you would glue your circles to the right side. Does that make sense? So then the open space, if you did that, the open space would be on the top on this side. So that's the only thing you need to think about in how you're designing your card. And if you're, like in this case, we're going to have the little ornament that I did in the beginning dangling down over here. So if you want something dangling down, do you want it to be on this side of your card or on that side? If you're going to stamp something or have something else up here, that's what you need to think about when you're planning. If you're going to glue your circles all together on the left or on the right. I hope that makes sense. So the other thing you can do in the layout of your card ahead of time is if you are going to be stamping, you can take a pencil because it's not going to show. Remember, we're going to put a strip across here. You can take a pencil and just after you get your circles where they're going to be, draw yourself a little line there. Then you can remove those off and do your whatever stamping that you want to do ahead of time up here. And then you'll know where your circles need to be put back after you're done stamping. Okay, so let me just go ahead and once you get them where you want, just simply carefully scoot one aside. And I moved that one ever so much. And just get your glue on here and put it back where it was. Hi Donna, hi Seal, thanks for joining me, you guys. Okay, now let's put this back. Now I'm using patterned papers. You can certainly use solid colored papers. The possibilities with this design are endless and it's just so much fun. I don't know, there's just something about this card design that you can end up spending the whole day, which I did yesterday, making these. And again, if you're just coming in and missed it, that middle swirly-do is what you're lining up. Now, had I done the outside the same as this paper, you would have, you know, those things all swirling together. If that makes sense, you would have one color doing this and one color doing that. Okay, so there we go with that. Now, I'm just trying to think what I want to do next here. I think we will go ahead. I've got a very vanilla cardstock base and I have a piece of Night of Navy to go in between. The colors in this patterned paper are Night of Navy and the Pretty Peacock. So I think it's going to be a really, with that foiling, it's going to have a more elegant look on this particular card. Okay, so there is that. Now, if you have punches, you can do the same thing with circle punches. It's just getting the, 3 different sizes And really, it's just a matter of playing with your circles to see the effect that you're going to get from the 3 different sizes. You know, because depending on how much smaller each circle is from itself, then that will determine, you know, the width of your swirl. Does that make sense, you guys? I hope so. Okay, there we go with that. Now then, I think I will go ahead and stamp. I've just got a 1/2 inch strip, the same width as my top piece of Very Vanilla there. And let's see. I think I will use, I just got this set. It's the Itty Bitty Christmas. And there's so many great greetings in here. I'm just trying to decide which one I want. Oh, Blessed Christmas Wishes. I think I'm going to do that one. And this is a rubber set. And I think, since I've got the Night of Navy and everything there, I think I'll go ahead and use the Pretty Peacock. Our new fur baby, okay, so the latest date is December 12th. However, she was born, I believe, September 28th, which means on the 28th of this month, she'll be 8 weeks old. I have a feeling we will get to bring her home around that time, or maybe within like the next week. But December 12th is the date that was listed that we could bring her home, or before. And when we got Todd, we got to bring him home before the date. So I think as long as everything is fine and they get an okay, you know, from their vet, that everything is hunky-dory, that you know, that she'll get to come home. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull this towards me a little bit because I'm hoping to get this on the first go. It's just fun seeing her little changes because she's long-haired. We had 2 Chihuahuas before, years ago, and they were both short hair. And then we have Todd, and he's short hair, and we've never had long hair. And then we had our Doxies, our 3 Doxies, and they were all black and tan short hair. And when we got Todd, and well, when we were talking about getting a Chihuahua, my husband wanted a girl and long hair, and we got a boy, short hair, and that was because I fell in love with him when I saw pictures of him and stuff. And so when we decided to get another one, I thought, well, let's go with the long hair because that's what Ken was wanting the first time around, and a girl. So I'm so looking forward to it because I think that Todd, you know, him still being a lot of puppy himself, that he's going to really have fun playing with her. I'm hoping. Okay. So I've got the pretty copper mesh ribbon here, and I don't know if I can scrunch it up. Maybe I can. Let me get my little, here they are. I have these. If you don't have any of these things, I mean, really all you need is one, and as long as you keep track of where it is, it will last you for a long time. They are floss threaders, and you find them in the dental stuff at the store, and it's for people who have braces on their teeth to be able to floss their teeth, and it helps pull the floss through. but these are great for threading any kind of ribbon or string, or if you have trouble threading a needle. Of course, I know they make things specifically for that, but these things just work so well. Just like that. So I think this is going to work just fine. I'm trying to just get this where I want it on here. So in about 3/4 of an inch it looks like. Okay. So let me just bring in my glue dots. What did I do with my take your pick tool? Here it is. Uh-oh. Where did I flip it to? Oh, it's on my finger. All right, about 3/4 of an inch. I'm gonna put a couple of them on there. It's probably easier to just pick it off with my fingernail. And I want it to look like it's dangling down just a little bit. Let me wrap that around. Oh, I think this is going to turn out cute. I'm excited. Let me just cut this off a little bit. I need to give it a hair trim here. I might need to put another dot on there. There we go. Okay. So I want to, now you don't have to pop it up, but I find that with the bulk of your little circles on there and stuff, that laying it flat, I mean, you can lay it flat, but I think it's just easier to pop it up. So that's what I'm going to do. And like I said, if you can stick around till the end, I'll show you the others that I made yesterday, because they're all very different from each other. The technique of doing the circles is the same, but you can really get addicted to making this card. There's just something so fun about it. And it's actually a very easy one to make. And so you're just wanting to try all different kinds of patterned papers and stamping. And it's just fun. So you want to get that kind of right in the middle if you can. Let me see here. And covering the line where they come together, of course. So that looks about in the middle to me. And I won't stick it down until I make sure it's straight. Or I'll try not to stick it down. And then let me bring my ribbon back because I want to do a bow. This ribbon's kind of fun to play with because you can pull it apart and do fun things with it, and it's just got this interesting texture. It's not wiry, but it kind of has that feeling about it. Okay. Bring in my glue dots again. Kind of have to fold it over there so it doesn't show. And I think I will stick one more in behind it. Okay, of course we've got to bling it up. And I've got the gorgeous champagne rhinestones here that I'm going to do that with. So I guess you could put a glue dot behind that little ornament since it's kind of dangling down there to make sure that it doesn't get wonky. Okay, let's see, where do I want to put, I know I want to put some over here. Let's see. You just got to start putting them, right? Okay. Let me get my tweezers. Okay, where'd that loosey-goosey stone go? I'm going to put one right there on the, by the greeting. I want to put a big one somewhere. Ooh, right here. And then one more. It's always best to do them in threes. We'll do a medium-sized one. I'm going to do it right there. Oh, pretty. I think that turned out pretty. Hi, Bev. Okay. What do you guys think? I mean, it came together really quick. You can do as much or as little. Oh, I think it turned out pretty. Let me bring in the other ones that I made. Where do I want to start? I'll start with the first one I made. And like I said, these are all very different from each other. So this is the first one I made, and this is using a greeting from the Curvy Christmas. And let's see, the little branches were also from Curvy Christmas. And the stars, the stars and the little things going down are from the jar set that's in the holiday catalog. And then I just colored the rhinestones with my blends. And these are the little, there's stars, and maybe they're all stars. I think that's also in the holiday packet that I glued those on top, the little sequins. And the papers are from that Curvy Christmas set. So there's that one. And I used crumb cake and cherry cobbler. And then this one's very different because I used patterned paper in the background. These papers were from out of last year's Christmas or holiday mini catalog. But the bows are, that ribbon is in the current one, and it is the Poppy Parade and Old Olive, I believe. And I love the gold metallic edge on them. And I also used the champagne rhinestones on this. So there you can see what it looks like using patterned papers on top of patterned paper. It might be too busy for you. But it's, you know, it's a fun, different look. So there's that one. And then this is the last one. And it's got all that frosty, snowy goodness going on there. The card base is balmy blue, and then of course that pretty ribbon. I think this is in the I think it's in the annual catalog. I'm hoping, hopefully it wasn't. I think it's there, sorry. And the pretty papers they brought, those are ones they brought back from last year, and they are the Feels Like Frost. They're 6x6 papers. They're all pictures on one side and silver and white foil on the other. So there I stamped around with snowflakes, and so that's what I was saying. When you go get ready to put this card together, put your circles on, don't glue them down, and draw yourself a little line so that you can see where they're going to go back on, so you know where to put your stamping. Now all of these I did with gluing the circles over to the left, with the exception of this one. And that's also what I was talking about. If you're going to have something hanging down, you need to decide, do you want it hanging down on the left side, or do you want it hanging down on the right side? So that will determine, you know, if you glue your circles together on the right or the left. So this is the only one that I did different. And the original sample that I saw, they were done like this. And then when I went to make mine, I glued mine to the left, and I thought, oh, I glued it wrong. But then I thought, well, really, there's no right or wrong with this. It's just, you know, how you want your end result to look. And these two I did with the, you know, having a wider border here on the outside, and these two, of course, don't. So you have more room to play with when you don't do your inside panel as small as these. The circle takes up most of the thing. So, but then all in all, it just depends on what size circles you use. You can use bigger circles or smaller circles, you know. And I did give the measurements, so if you came in late and didn't hear what size circles I used, just go back and watch the replay, because I measured those right in the beginning for you. So yeah, all the same card basically, but you know, whatever stamping and pattern papers you use makes it look so different. But like I said, you guys, this is a super fun card to make, so I hope you'll give it a try. And thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my blog, which is JannaStamps.blogspot.com, to get that host code, and it will tell you there how, if you make a purchase with me, what that needs to be to get a little gift from me then the following month. And there'll be a new post at the beginning of each month on my blog. Okay, so have a great weekend. I'll be back on for Pop on Tuesday at whatever time. You just have to make sure to choose the little thing to get notifications from my page, so that you'll know what time that'll be, because I always come on at some point in the day and let you know what time I'll be popping on. Okay, see you again soon. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.